Aruna B. Hello, Aruna.
Good morning.
She is a mental health professional. She is specialized in child psychology. She is trained in cognitive behavior therapy and rational emotive behavior therapy. I think this is very, very important because in this scare, we are all turning somewhat little irrational. Her experience with school children will help us understand our kids better. So we'll just wait for her to say. And our third panelist is Mr. Venkata Vinay. Hello, Mr. Vinay.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. And he has diversified experience in the education space. He is a perfect example of the PDCA cycle, that is plan, do, check, and act. He plans and designs the curriculum, teaches in the classroom, checks the viability, converts it into product, and again go back to plan and with the teaching technique. Am I correct, Mr. Vinay?
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. So, and in this classroom implementation, has become an expert. He's instrumental in imparting this learning level, improving the learning level of the students in India and Northeast Africa. Today, his area will be live classes and how it is good alternative till the school reopens. So, okay, so with this, I would just like to know whether all of you know about our group JGI. So I'm here to say about JGI. So are you aware of JGI? So JGI is a group established it is an education provider and an entrepreneurship incubator in India. So you can see our founder chairman, Dr. Chanraj Roychan, and his dream was to fuel economic growth and sustainable improvement by developing a new generation of educational innovator and social entrepreneurs. The journey started in 1990 with just 6 teachers and 36 students. But the fire in him ignited 100 entrepreneurs, incubated 50 companies, started 85 educational institutions, generated employment over 6,500 employees. By 2020, in a span of only 3 decades, his dream to provide sustainable quality education has resulted in Jain International School, Jain Heritage School, Jain Public School, Jain College, to name a few, and the state-of-art sports school. Our major presence is in Karnataka, but we are present in Telangana, Andhra, Chhattisgarh, and MP also. We are very proud also to be supported by the Rutgers alumni and the director of JGI Ventures, Mr. Vishal. He is a young, he gives us all novel and innovative ideas. And with his advanced ideas, we paved the way for the JGI success story. So with this introduction, this is too brief introduction for our, magnanimous group. So with this brief introduction, I will just, ask Kiana to start her session with.
Thank you. Shall I start?
Yeah. Yes, Kiana, you're live.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are fine. And today I want to talk about the coronavirus. I want to give you some tips about how you can protect yourself from the COVID, from this type of viruses. But actually, before giving the tips, I prefer to talk about the coronavirus. I want to I want to show you how this virus can cause infection in human, because I believe if we have knowledge, this type of knowledge, we further know how why we have to protect ourselves and how to protect ourselves, and why we should follow the tips and instructions and advices given by CDC or WHO. Could you please show the PPT?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're able to see the screen, Kiana?
No, I'm able, but I want next slide.
Okay, so we are able to actually see the screen.
Okay, let's start with the virus definition. Viruses are any infectious particle which can replicate inside the cells of living organism. That living organism can be bacteria, it can be animal, or it can be plant. Nowadays, presently, the most important and most famous virus is coronavirus all over the world. This type of coronavirus are actually a group of viruses which are genetically they are, related. This type of animal virus can infect the respiratory tract, can cause the respiratory tract infection in human. Can you go for to the next slide? Next slide, please.
So we have to go to the next slide.
I'm changing the slide.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I have done.
Why am I not able to see?
It is not visible to us.
1 second.
Okay, let me continue. Some of the coronaviruses are causing the common cold. Some of them are. Okay. Some of them are.
1 second. Madam, can you see the screen now?
No.
We can, but we can see the first slide, sir.
1 second. This one? How about now?
No.
No.
Okay, so I'll just do a different type of sharing. Just kindly give me a minute.
So this is one of the starting point by which we can understand that trouble corona is causing everyone. Isn't it? Even technology space.
How about now?
Yeah, we can see. We all can see, I believe.
Okay. Okay. Actually,
we have to go to the previous slide. The one more previous, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Some coronaviruses are causing common cold. Some are a variety of them are causing SARS. Some are causing MERS. And from 2019, a new coronavirus has been found that causes the COVID-19 disease. Can you go for the next slide? Okay, this is a picture of the coronavirus. As you can see, it's like a proteinous ball, which with the crown-like structure spikes on that. And if you see if you cut this ball, you can see the thread-like genetic material in the virus. Next slide, please. Okay. As I mentioned, the viruses are dead outside the body, and they can get alive when they are coming inside the animal cells. If the coronavirus wants to create infection in our body, it should enter to the human body. Actually, the coronavirus enters inside our body through eyes, nose, and our mouth. When the coronavirus enters, It goes to the respiratory tract and tries to find the proper target for itself. The virus can find the target inside the lung. Actually, the cells of air sac in our lung serves as a host for the coronavirus. Next slide, please. Okay. When the virus meets the air sacs, the cells of air sacs, it hijacks the cells and then enforce the cells to produce new virus. New viruses are killing the lung cell and they get released into the environment. Please note at this time the person is infected, but he or she is not aware of the infection because he cannot see any symptoms in himself. If when the virus are getting spread inside the lung, they will try to infect new cells in our lung. And by this, when they are infecting the neighboring cells in our lung, slowly, some inflammation is occurring in our lung. That inflammation is a message to our immune system. Something is wrong in our body. So immune system will show some reaction. And due to that reaction, the air sac will get filled with the fluids. At this moment, the infected person will cough and will sneeze. But still the person is unaware that he is infected with the coronavirus. He thinks that he is having the common flu. Most of the people, actually around 80 to 85% of people are just showing the COVID-19 disease with the simple flu disease. But in the remaining infected people, who are around 50 to 20% of the patients, the body system is different. When the infection is spreading in their lung, the immune system will get tired of the virus and wants to show them proper reaction to defeat the virus. Immune system, the body shows a stormy reaction. Due to that stormy reaction, the body damages its own air sacs. And when the air sacs and destruction happens in the air sacs, and the person, the infected person at this time cannot breathe properly and needs ventilation for breathing assistance. Apart from that, when the air sacs get ruptured, the accumulated fluid in the air sacs will come into the blood. And from there, it goes to all over the body. The patient will suffer from the septic shock, and also the patient will see he will see the organ failure, and finally the death is occurring in the patient. But can you go for the next slide, please? Remember, I said viruses are dead outside of our body, but they are alive inside of the organism, living organism. So they know the value of their life. They want to be alive and they want to continue this type of lifestyle. That's why they try to not only they try to infect the person, but they try to infect other people also. But how they will go to other people, how they increase their chance of survival. Next slide. Next slide. No, previous one. Corona disease is an airborne disease. That means the pathogen responsible for the disease can be transmitted through the air by particles. There are two types of particles which can carry the virus. One is the droplets, and the other one is aerosols. Droplets are heavier particles. They are containing more number of virus, and they can transfer in shorter distance compared to aerosols. When a person is infected, whether he has the symptoms or he doesn't show the symptoms, that person breathe, when he talks, when he coughs or sneezes, he will expel this type of particles, aerosol and droplet in the environment. And these particles, and they remain in the air for some time, and after that they can sit, fall down, and come on the ground, or sit on the surfaces. So when a healthy person comes into close contact with the infected person or touch this contaminated area, they can catch the infection. Next slide. Okay. So when most of the people does not show the symptoms and they are not aware of the disease, how can we protect ourselves? The first the first thing we can do is to avoid crowd. Next slide. When we are avoiding the crowd, we can protect ourselves. Try to stay at home as much as possible. Don't go to cancel unnecessary activities. Try to find some alternative solution for your daily routine. Suppose you can go for, you can do the virtual meeting, gathering, or activities. Instead of using the public transportation, try to walk to your school or to your workplace. If it is not possible, use a bicycle or use a personal vehicle. If you have to attend in public places, try to find when is the peak hours and avoid attending the places in those times. One more thing you can do, especially when you are at work or you are at school, you can reduce your connection with other people. Try to maintain only a small group of people when you are at school or you are at work, which can help you a lot. Next slide. Anyhow, we are living in the society. We have to continue our routine and daily activities. So we cannot stay at home always. But what we can do, next slide. What we can do when we are trying to be in public, that is following the social distancing, maintaining the social distancing. For social distancing, we have to stay away from others by 1 or 2 meters. We have to keep that distance. And why we have to keep that distance? It's because in this distance, we cannot catch the droplets. We are protecting ourselves from the droplets which are carrying the virus. But whether this type of this much of distance will protect us from the aerosols, I have to say no. Aerosols are smaller, but though they are having the lower number of the lower number of the virus, but they can travel further, and still you have the chance to catch the infection. In this case, apart from maintaining the social distancing, you have to wear a mask. Next slide, please. By wearing mask, actually, you're providing a barrier in front of your face. So you won't allow the viruses enter to your mouth or to your nose. What is the best of mask? The best one is N95, which protects, which acts as a ventilator and protects you a lot, followed by surgical masks. But the problem with these two type of masks is mostly they are mostly disposable. Daily using of this type of mask is costly, and sometimes, especially during the outbreak, you cannot find this type of mask easily. They are not available. So the advice to the people are keep these two masks for the healthcare worker. Instead of using this mask, you can make a cloth mask at your home. These type of masks are cheap. You can wash them and use them regularly. Okay, but using a mask, remember, while using a mask, you should uh, um, use it properly. Otherwise, the masks are not giving protection to you. Next slide, please. Uh, Wear the mask properly to get a proper protection. First of all, while choosing a mask, select a mask which is fitting to your face. Don't go for the loose one because it won't give you the protection, and viruses can come inside to your mouth. Don't go for the tight one because it irritates you. And before taking the mask, wash your hands and then grab the mask from the ear loop. Put it in your face, and remember, mask is a mask should cover your nose, your mouth, and your chin. Don't put it under your nose. Don't put it under your chin, and don't remove your mask while you are talking with others. Don't touch in front of your mask also, because it could be contaminated. While removing the mask also, you should be very careful, because when you want to remove the mask, try to grab the ear loop, and then remove it, put it away from your face. Some people are hanging the mask on their ear, and some of them, they are putting the mask under their chin. Actually, by doing that, you increasing the chance of contamination, chance of infection. Next slide, please. Okay, next slide again. While after removing the mask, don't spread it in the environment. You have to keep your mask, you have to throw it either inside the closed bin, or you have to put the mask inside the plastic bag and seal plastic bag if you want to wash your cloth mask. Always after using your mask, please try to wash it with bleach, because bleach can remove the virus effectively. Next slide, please. Mhm. Some people are thinking the face shield is better compared to the mask, because they say I cannot breathe properly while wearing the mask, or they are saying it's hot, I'm sweating. Some people who are wearing glass like me, they are having problem, because as we breathe, we cannot see, and they think face shields are better compared to masks. But remember, face shields are good if they cover your face completely. They should cover your face to the side. And for other type of, if it is not covering your face properly, you should wear the shields along with the masks. When you are wearing the shield also, remember, you have to, if it is disposable, every time you have to use a new shield, or if it is not disposable and you can use it again, every time you have to clean and disinfect the face shield. Otherwise, that will be a place for that will be a place which increase the chance of the contamination. Next slide. As I said, viruses coronavirus can be found in the surface. So if you touch a contaminated area, actually you can carry the virus in your hand, and then you are touching your mouth, your nose, or your eyes. You are helping the virus to enter into your body. So regularly try to regularly wash your hand, especially when you are blowing your nose, you are coughing, you are sneezing. If you are touching any outside surfaces, try to wash your hand properly, and also before and after eating. Next slide. Next slide. Um, for washing your hand, just soap and soap and water, or sanitizer which contains 60% of alcohol is sufficient. And if you want to wash your hand, please watch online videos which are showing you the proper way for hand washing. Many of us, we don't know how to wash our hand properly. Okay. Apart from washing, cleaning your hand, you have to clean the high touch surfaces daily. These surfaces are tables, desks, light switches, and etc. If you want to clean this area, remember we are having two terms. One is cleaning and exercise. The other one is disinfection. Cleaning is different with disinfection. When you are cleaning, you are removing the dirt. And while you are disinfecting, actually you are killing the germs. So disinfection is more important than cleaning. To clean a surface, but it's important to clean a surface before disinfecting the surface. Because sometimes a presence of dirt will neutralize the activity of the disinfecting materials. How to clean the surfaces? It's depend on the surface you want to clean, and you have to check those information online. But remember what type of whenever you are using on what type of disinfecting material chemicals you want to use is depend on the surfaces you want to clean. So you have to check this information also online. But remember, whenever you are using a disinfection, read the manufacturer instruction on that, because information regarding the concentration, the way you are applying that disinfecting material, and contact time is very important to remove the germs. Next slide. Next. Finally, if you do all these protective actions, and you get sick, you feel you are having the symptoms of the COVID-19, try to accept that one, contact your doctor, do the test, and don't be ashamed of being sick. Don't hide your disease. Try to inform the people who were in close contact with you from past 14 days. Stay at home, don't go to the public places, and finally, I wish you all to stay safe and healthy during this abnormal condition.
Thank you, Dr. Kiana. All this WhatsApp forwards what we get. We have, I mean, we don't know, we have half-baked knowledge. So really, we are getting to hear from a microbiologist physically. I think all our viewers also will gain some confidence. And one thing what I felt is that, that when the virus is entering, if we can stop it from entering, that is the best. if it
That's great.
enters also, and if in the initial stage, if we don't, if we start treating it as a corona and taking the due care, what is advised by the World Health Organization, like inhalation and all, I think we can stop it from damaging the lung, is what I understood. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes, we should not allow
And
the
I have two
virus.
questions, because in the meantime, I'm getting a lot of questions in my WhatsApp and the screen to ask you. And since I will ask you the question, normally in my sessions, what I do, I keep the question session at the last. But since your connectivity is very poor, and it is really, I appreciate, and we all thank you, because from a country, Iran, where the Zoom is stopped, and still you have, like, you're sharing with us your, your knowledge, the research paper, what you have done is really commendable. So I'll just quickly take the questions, what has come. One is, can the virus spread through food?
Okay. Actually, there is no evidence that virus can infect us through the food. But advices are there. They are telling we have to cook our food properly, try to provide food in hygiene area, and but be aware, if you are carrying your food from outside, if you are carrying meat and vegetables or other items which are packed, the virus can sit on its surface. So before using any of them, wash them properly to remove the viruses from its surface.
Okay. And one more that we have got is very common. That is, what is more effective? Is it the sanitizer or it is the soap wash?
There is no difference between washing your hand by soap or using a sanitizer. Just you have to wash your hand properly. You should take approximately 20 seconds, which is equal to singing the happy birthday song twice, and do washing properly, no matter it's with soap or it's with the sanitizer.
Okay, so both are equal, like both are equally effective if we wash it properly.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Kiana. This was the major thing. And one more quick questions that I have got is that somewhere you have mentioned that virus can enter through the eyes also. Isn't it anything that is open? So one concern was raised by one of the one of the viewers, that if it is through eye, then we are covering our nose and mouth part we are doing. Those who don't have a spectacles, then how is it for them? So along with the mask, should they wear the face shield also?
That's why some people are advising to wear the shields and don't touch your eyes, especially when they are dirty and you are not washing them.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Kiana. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. And amidst the amidst the trouble that you're facing and the connectivity issues, but still you have made it. It is really appreciable. Thank you very much. So I'll just now ask our Madam Aruna, because she will be talking about mental health. So you have spoken about the physical aspect of it. So washing hands, cleaning, and keeping a distance. Now, but this corona is taking a toll on our mental health also. We are all scared. Anything that's, anywhere the word we hear to get corona or COVID, we are so afraid. So how can Dr. Aruna tell us about that, how to keep us safe from this mental trauma? Yeah, over to you, Madam Aruna.
A warm good morning to everyone. I would like to thank Madhumita ma'am for giving me such a generous introduction. Yes, very correctly, ma'am. In this present situation, whatever our doctor, she had prescribed about the physical wellness and everything, really true. We should have all these precautions to get away from this pandemic situations now. Really true, ma'am, very correctly. We should have all the awarenesses and consciousness about our own physical health. In the same way, This topic is really very apt for the present scenario, as for every person's overall development, both the physical and mental health is really, it should go on and on. Both physically and mentally, the child should, any person should be fixed, have a very firm mindset on how can he keep himself developed. I would like to connect with, I would like to join words with, as Dr. Ma'am said that it's really true nowadays we have to be very precautious about our physical well-being. But as we have seen, there are many precautionary, we get many calls about our physical, mental well-being. Might be if we pick a call, we get precautionary measures. If we see a TV or anything, wherever it is, any conversation starts, it starts from our physical well-being itself. But as a psychologist, I also feel that with the physical mental well-being, with the physical, even the mental well-being also is very important, because any calls from people saying that yes ma'am, we know everything about corona and everything, but how can we be aware about our mental well-being? How can we fix ourselves, or how can we protect ourselves not getting disturbed with our mental things? I would like to just discuss with this with the help of an artistic depictions of human brain. Sir, with a PPT presentation from slide 3, sir. Yes. Really, ma'am, today's the topic, minding the mind, is really very good. I would just like to define mind related to mental health. Mind is an aspect of a combination of both our intelligence and our consciousness, where the combination comes with our thoughts, perceptions, memory, feelings, imaginations, and which are all connected to our conscious and unconscious cognitive processes. So really our brain, our mind plays a very crucial role in coming out of this pandemic situations. As we have seen in this first picture, this itself depicts us saying that our mind is on our own control. Nobody can control our mind. So we are the operators of our mind. Mental health is a function of machine of yours, and the machine is only in your hand. How can you operate? How can you give a break? How can you continue with it? And how are you going to respond to the stimulus from the environment which you are getting? It all depends in our hand. So just whenever we get any influences or any stimulus from our environment, we have to just keep in our mind that is that under my control or is it from others' control? Yes, we get many messages or many facts, theories about all these pandemic diseases. See to that, is it in my hand or in with others' hand? I can control my reactions, I can control my emotions, I can control my feelings, but I cannot control others. So see to that, yes, we see many medias. As soon as we get up in the morning, we see in WhatsApp. We just go on with the WhatsApp. As soon as we get up, we just go to the news. I'm not just telling anything wrong. Yes, the medias are giving us more and more information. They are creating consciousness in us and awareness in us. But somewhere in another sense, it is also creating an unusual panic into us, because many of the kids call me and say that parents call me and say that ma'am, nowadays in this pandemic situation, as my kids are at home, they are really disturbing me a lot. She's not leaving me even for a 5 minutes also. She's feeling so secured and she feels insecurity even when I leave for 5 minutes. When I just talked to the child, I came to know that why the child is behaving like that. The child started saying that ma'am, no, yesterday in the media I just saw that when the mother is being affected by virus, she was being isolated in hospital and the child was crying outside. This has been affected the child a lot, and then throughout she has to go through this mental disturbances. So the child does not want to miss any persons which the child is in a secure zone. So it is our duty to see that how can we respond to the stimulus from our environment. So we have control towards our mind. Please have your own control so that we don't get any influences from outside. Yes, the next slide, sir. Yes. As we give, as Dr. Ma'am said that we have to physically, we have to be fit and we have to take our own precautions and awareness. Really very true. With that, even we should have a very good exercise to our brain. That is, our mind, it will become very healthy only through positive thinkings. We get many things surround us, but it is we who are responsible to which angle I should see. Yes, Corona, this pandemic situation is really creating a very disturbances in our schedules and everything. But we have to see the other side of it. After Corona or this pandemic situation, what are all the positive things I have got? Might be I'm spending more time with my kid. I'm understanding my kid more better. I'm spending time with my family. Not only that, even you have your own personal space also. You can put your own talents outside. You can show what you are. It's a challenging task for you. Seeing in that angle, we feel very stressed. But slightly seeing in this angle, we feel really very proud of ourselves as we are managing. We are really beautiful managing everything, even at home. So seeing makes the difference, not the way we are. Please see to the positive sides and give a very good exercise to our mind and our thoughts. Yes, next slide, sir. Yes, the slide itself it's showing that your mind can be either your prison or palace. What you make is yours. See to which you are holding on. So see, on which we are holding. Are we holding to the emotions or which is not in my control? Pandemics and Corona is in not my control. But if I have an awareness on it, I can have conscious to my thought, how can I prevent from it? Though if we are affected also, our self-confidence makes us come out of it really very fast. So focus more on strengths than weaknesses. Holding on to unusual anxieties creates stress and fear in us. So the first thing is that unhealthy belief in ourselves itself makes everything affect us. Please believe in yourself. Hold on to whatever you're stuck to it. Hold on. And please come out of all your negative thoughts. Make your place not a prison. Make your place as a palace. Turn it out to your palace. That is only with us, within my hands. So next slide, please. Yes. The present lockdown or quarantine is only for our body, not for our skills or for our constructive thoughts or for anything of our upliftment. Directions determine our destinations, not the way we lead or where we are. So the direction is where I should create. Might be it's the picture itself is showing that it's a prison, but there is an enlightenment through the prison. So I have to search for my skills. It is the time where we get uplifted to our inner skills. Try introspecting yourself. What am I? How can I present? Even now, has Madhumita ma'am she has also given so many platforms to many people coming out of it. Staying at home, we are connecting to many people. There are really many opportunities nowadays creating. We have to see to this point like that. Upliftment. We have to say even this to our kids so that dear you staying at home also, there is many opportunities in our online where you can show all your talents. So this can be done only by our elders. As we start working on it, I start projecting myself positively. Obviously my actions will shift to my kids, not my words. So please, to all the parents or for the teachers or everybody has it working specialized with the children. I really focus more on children. The child's mental health is, even though if we are in a COVID situation, we can come out from it after 70 days if we are affected also. But if we are mentally affected, really it takes a very long time for every kid or any person to come out of this unusual panics and stress. As you are at home, please don't create any unusual panics to your kids. Please just create an awareness. Don't switch on to your updates here and then. Per day, 2 updates, it's enough. What is happening into your locality, it's more than enough. Not throughout the world. I hope so we don't. In your locality, to keep yourself aware. That's enough. And don't share any positive, creating negative things through WhatsApp or anything, because it's creating a lot of panics in people. Instead of that, start forwarding any people who give an interview of their recovery from Corona. so that it might create a positive sense to everybody and they become more confident even if they are affected also. So these are very much affecting our kids a lot. One word I would just like to connect during this thing is that nowadays we repeatedly listen the word social distancing, social distancing. Actually, a slight of difference in that is, instead of social distancing, we can say that it is physical distancing. Actually, at this pandemic situation, we should have social reconnection and recentering ourselves, because social reconnection and emotionally connected makes us more and more stronger. Physical distancing is really good. Instead of social distancing, physical distancing apps very correct, I think. So really, I would, at this time, I would like to take the parents and the teachers, because we teachers reach people very fast. We are the imitators for our kids. Whatever mama teaches at home, the kids never take. My ma'am has told me this method, I will follow only that. So it is the responsibility of the teachers and even the parents also not to talk more about it in front of the kids. Related to their age, concerned to their age, give the knowledge itself. We don't notice that whether the kids are there or not. We elders, we go out, the neighbors tell about corona. We see a news channel, it says about corona. WhatsApp, even the relatives forward the updates about corona. All these things we talk in front of kids itself. Might be we think that my kid is not hearing. Really, truly, to say that our kids are very sharp. Our actions itself says everything what we are in. Please be very awareness, as you are very awareness to your physical also, be very awareness even to your mental well-being also. The next slide, sir. Yes, we can't control everything that happens outside, but we can change our experience of those things. As we are seeing any channels or something, no channels or no media say that see me this channel or anything, but the remote is in my hand whether I should select that or not. So in the same way, the mind is in your hand and everything is in your hand, but we see everything and we scold them. They just give only that, this. They did not force us to see that. They have just put, it is in my hand, the remote, whether I have to switch on to this or to music. So please, before going to sleep or anything, don't have any update newses to ask before to your sleep. Listen to music, listen to any comedy, or really give importance to your skills at time. This is the time where you can have a real bonding. If we have control towards our mind, seeing things positively makes our life really beautiful, because this has created many people a lot of platforms. Many might the kids, because many of my kids send me appreciation certificates to me, ma'am, I have done this in online, I've done this. So really parents are supporting our kids to bring all their hidden talents outside. Please, I would help, or I would advise all the parents to be with your child at this time. And I hope so. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for supporting me in all this way and giving me an opportunity to share my views on mental health.
I'd like to get to know a little bit of advice from you regarding for the children also.
Yes,
like, see, the children, they always have a hand for the, interest for a thriller. Now this COVID has become like a thriller for us.
Yes.
Anything coming in WhatsApp, though I'm controlling my mind that I'll not see, but still my eyes, where goes to that news and okay, drink that, do this. And, we start doing all that. So even when I at my age can act as a child of not able to fully control the mind. So what are your tips that how can the child control the mind? That's, I think, important, because children are watching us, they are knowing. So how not to get panic, even if the parent is little careless, because see, that is also not in their hand. Your advice is definitely valid. Parents will be aware, seniors have to be aware. But by chance, if something is not there, then how the child can himself or herself from a mechanism to be safe? I mean, not get affected mentally. And I like that, physical, social distancing. Instead of social distancing, physical distancing is important, but social connectivity is very important. Now, that is a really good takeaway. So just can you tell the child that how the child can keep his or her mental, health safe?
Yes, ma'am. truly saying that really we say that we are unable to change our thoughts, but kids really they go on changing because they want to see on which my parent gives me focus on. At this time, actually, kids need attention on which of my concept are my parents giving me attention. If we start changing their thought of seeing angle, motivating them on their skills, motivating them, getting connected to them, that communication, if we have a very good communication with the kid, and if we start saying the kid to develop another just distraction about other things, distracting the child from this thought to another thought makes him come out of it, or getting an awareness. If the child is really busy with whatever he likes and being noticed by everybody, getting appreciation, getting motivated and getting influenced, really the child comes out of it. We parents or teachers anyhow, in our online classes I have seen many of the things that teachers are sharing some activities, giving some puzzles and all those things, but working with the parent, this does not go by only with the child. Connectivity with the parent, the parents really play a very crucial part in this, where they have to indulge in child's each and every activity. If I say the child to write, to draw, he will never draw. If I take a sheet and start drawing and coloring, obviously after 2 days my child starts doing it. Start doing all these things. Whatever you expect from your child, let it start from you itself. You are the mirror, you are the imitators for your kids. My child should not think about it, my child should not stop saying that. Start from you itself, because you are the first person where the child is learning. I hope so the parents can give them, the parents involving with them with the activity. Don't call the kids, come and do this, come and, please never. Create an environment where he himself comes and joins with you. Obviously first and second time he will never do that, but the third time, as you are noticing, he shows us a bit of change. Please notice that small change. What is that? We expect a drastic change from the kid at first. See to the small notice of a kid and start making him involved in it, but with small hobbies. Talking, have a dinner and talk with everybody. Take out the corona topic and then talk about all normal topics and everything. Really, the child will come out of this and he'll become really mental fit and he'll start advising others. Because
Madam Aruna, can you just tell a little bit in Kannada also, so that all my viewers can be able to understand, I mean, can develop a connect also. A little bit in Kannada, I mean, the summary of whatever you have shared.
Yes, ma'am, Kandita. Yes, ಎಲ್ಲ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಾಗ್ಲಿ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗಾಗ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, ಖಂಡಿತ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ನಾವ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಮಾಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಖಂಡಿತ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಅನ್ನೇ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅವರು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಖಂಡಿತ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ ತರದ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾನು ತುಂಬಾ ಹಠ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಮಮ್ಮಿ ನನಗೆ ಅಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರ, ನಾನು ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಅಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನನ್ನ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, ನನ್ನ ಮಗು ಹಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಆದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನ ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೂತಾಗ ಅದನ್ನ ಮಗುಗೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಪ್ರಿಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಜಾಣ ಇದ್ಯಾ ನೀನು, ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಜಾಣ ಕೂತಿದ್ಯಾ, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್ ದ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್, ಎಷ್ಟು ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಆಪಲ್ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ, ಎಷ್ಟು ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಕಲರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ. ಹೌ ನಾವ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಯಾವ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಮೇಕ್ಸ್ ದೆಮ್ ಡೂ ದ. ಆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅವರು ತುಂಬಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾವು ತುಂಬಾ ಗಲಾಟೆ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾವ್ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಈ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನನ್ನ ಮಗು ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು. ಈ ಪ್ಯಾಂಡಮಿಕ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಈ ಕೊರೋನಾ ಇಂದ ತುಂಬಾ ಹೆದರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ನನ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಬರೋದು ಮಗು ತಾನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಲಿಯೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬರೀ ನಮ್ಮ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ನನ್ನ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಕೇಳೋ ಮಾತುಗಳು, ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್, ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ನಾವು ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನೇ ಮಗು ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ತುಂಬಾ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಾಗ್ಲಿ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗಾಗ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಓವರ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನ ಬೇಡ. ಪರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎನಫ್. ಮಕ್ಕಳು ನಮಗಿಂತ ತುಂಬಾ ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ, ಅಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಯಾನಿಟೈಸರ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಯಾ, ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ, ಅಮ್ಮ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವಾಶ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ. ನಮಗಿಂತ ಖಂಡಿತ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ತುಂಬಾ ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನೇ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಎನ್ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದನ್ನ ತುಂಬಾ ಆಂಗ್ಸೈಟಿ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ತರ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಡಿ. ಈ ಟೈಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಜೊತೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವರ ಟ್ಯಾಲೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಖಂಡಿತ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಇದರಿಂದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬಂದೇ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಓಕೆ.
Thank you so much, Madam Aruna. Like, this is very nice that coming from a counselor, that what is a crucial and important role a school and a school teacher can play. Because yes, parent is important and it is the first contact with the child. But at the same time, you have also referred heard that sometimes children listen to what the teachers say and not the parents say. So with the present ongoing debate that's going on, whether teaching online is good and not good, how much, how, what, when, where, 100 questions are bugging us. But at the same time, it is coming from a child counselor that yes, in small portions and small doses, if there is connectivity with the teacher every day, that really will be good for the child and the child's mental health. That is really good. I have a couple of questions, but which I will ask you afterwards, after Mr. Vinay, delivers his point of view, because he's going to talk about online teaching and its pros and cons. Over to you, Mr. Vinay.
Thank you, ma'am. I think the way you arrange these sessions is very progressive. We have Kiana ma'am talking about the physical health, which is very important for a child, especially given that the school, Jain International School, is the background context in which we're talking. And we have Aruna ma'am talking about the mental well-being of the
I'm
child.
just sorry to interrupt. You're not only talking about our international school, you are talking about all the schools, our public school, our heritage school, wherever we are in the academic scenario. I'm talking about all of them.
Thanks. So Kiana ma'am was speaking about, Dr. Kiana was speaking about the physical health of people in this pandemic time, and then I think it progressed to the mental health that Ms. Aruna spoke about. And then she very nicely interwove that mental health concept with the fact that for the child, there are influences. There are influences, one from the parent, and more importantly, she spoke about the influence of the teacher, and which she mentioned that I'm sure all of us would have had this experience where we tell something to the child as a parent, and then the child will tell us, no, but my teacher didn't tell that. What my teacher told is correct. I think I'm sure all of us have that experience. I'm a faculty of English, and when I try to correct my child of what a mistake the teacher perhaps made, then she'll tell me, you're wrong, my teacher is right. I think all of us have that experience. The teacher's influence on the child is very, 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 very strong. And rightly so, because school is a place where the child experiments relationships, where the child explores, and the child experiences a lot of things, which it's a, look at it like a playground for the child to work on his social, emotional, and personal part of his life. School is not just about learning. School is not just about arithmetic, 3 hours, arithmetic, reading and writing. It's not just about that. Most people think that you teach them ABCD or you teach them some language, mathematics. It's not about that. School is more about exploring the social self of you, exploring your persona inside, trying to connect with people and the bonds you create. These are skills that you learn, life skills that you learn there are far, far stronger and more impactful than perhaps the subjects that we learn, which is important. Subjects we learn important. So today, more my focus will essentially be on the part that Aruna ma'am has been sharing about in terms of not physical distance is fine, but social connection is very important. Physical distance maybe the way we look at it, but I think social connect becomes very important. And in this context, my focus is more on the child and ensuring how this pandemic is impacting the child and what could probably be a way in which we can help children build, while maintaining physical distance, build that social connect, which is very important. Shashpat, if you could share the PPT, the presentation, I'll take the viewers through the presentation. So one thing is that we have to ask ourselves is, are we ready? So just to set the context, months before the lockdown happened, lockdown started around in March around. Months before the lockdown actually happened, as ClassClap, I'm a part of an organization, ClassClap curriculum organization, a tech organization. And then we did a pilot. We did a project months before it. I think somewhere in November, December, we did a pilot. We had no clue about what was coming up. And the pilot at that time was if live classes could supplement physical classes, especially in helping children learn English, because English was an area of concern, a lot of concern. And we can bring experts who will then connect with children sitting at home after the classes get over post school. Can that happen? So we did this experiment in which I was also involved, and we had around 10 children who were first time when we did this. We brought 10 children of our own employees back there and then put them up into a room, into an online class. You can keep the first slide, Shashwat, in the first slide only before we go to the second slide. Or you want me to? No, this is the first slide. Go back to the first slide.
I didn't get you.
Yeah, keep it here. I'll tell you next.
Sure. Okay.
So we ran a project, and then quite surprisingly, there were 10, 12 children there, and then I taught them English. And after the class was over, we asked them how was the class and everything. And then almost all the children together said, class was okay, but you're not my teacher. That actually set the entire tone for us. So then as a part of the project, we had a teacher and her children, her class children, brought into an online class. And then ma'am was there. For children, it was a very new experience. Ma'am entered the class online. She entered the class. And children were like, good morning, ma'am. And the connect was there. The physical distance didn't matter for them. The social connect was extremely vibrant, visible. Then we realized, okay, so essentially the point is that children connect with their teachers, children connect with their peers, and that makes a lot of sense. Now the pandemic did one very problematic situation it produced. It not only brought about a physical disconnect, it has also brought about a very strong social disconnect. So if this is not what I'm saying, this is what UNESCO is saying, that around 90% of the world's children, school-age children, are absolutely not going to school. It essentially is affecting them in two ways, in two key ways. Like, this next slide, please. In two key ways. One, it's delaying their emotional, cognitive, and social development. You can go to the next slide. Next slide. It's delaying their social, emotional, and cognitive development. Now, where does this happen? Essentially, one, it happens in the house, but more importantly, it happens in the school, where there are about 40, 50 children in the class, teacher is there, multiple teachers, interactions, and then there is a sharing and connecting, bonding. All that is gone. He's sitting at his home, like ma'am showed, Aruna ma'am showed that, the picture of a person sitting in a prison in a lockdown. He's there, he's sitting there, there's nothing for him there. Yes, he can do something, but he needs people to connect. Physical distance need not be a barrier. So that is one important thing. The second is that there's something called the summer slide. When children have a summer vacation and they come back, usually they feel very trepid about going back to the peer group. They have their learning levels dip. Now imagine we are in lockdown for almost 80, 90 days, and then there is no clue of how much of a regression this is going to happen in terms of learning, and how hard this is going to be to remedy. But today, the focus of my session will essentially be on that cognitive, emotional, and social development. Can you go to the next slide, Shashwat? So while you're looking at the social, emotional, how it impacting serious consequences isolation is bringing, I'm sure as parents, we're all feeling quite a lot of things. As Aruna ma'am was sharing earlier, parents are reaching out to her, children are reaching out to her, and then thinking about what is happening at this point of time. Personally, I know managing children is becoming very difficult for parents, because suddenly they're at home so much time that they're not used. Children are not used to facing parents so much of the time. So it's become a mental struggle. So, and then added to this, there is this feeling of insecurity. Again, going back to the mental health that ma'am spoke about, a lot of insecurity. Okay, this happened, something that never happened before. Is there any guarantee that it will not happen again? Is there any guarantee that something like this will not come back again? Am I preparing my child for it? Is my child ready for it? Am I supporting my child at this point of time? I myself am struggling. I am going through extreme struggle at this point of time, probably financial, emotional, social, mental struggle I'm going through. But how am I going to cope with this? But at the center of all this struggle is our little princess, is our little prince there, our child. And imagine how much of an impact it is for her, for him, suddenly that there is no connect at all. There is absolutely no connect. And that brings us to the very important point is, do we sit down there, as ma'am was sharing earlier? I'm referring to her with a nice progression, Madhumita ma'am brought this. Do we sit down there and look out of those bars, or do we do something about it? Is there a crisis? Agree. This is unprecedented. Nobody in their lifetime must have imagined, experienced something like this at this scale. Agreed. But are we going to sit and cry for the rest of this pandemic time? Or are we going to do something about it? Are we going to turn the crisis into an opportunity? And especially for children, how are we going to turn this crisis into an opportunity? One way is to bring school back. Can you go to the next slide, Shashwat? So one way is basically to bring the school back, because school is a playground. School is the place where you have the entire peer-to-peer relationships, the teacher-student relationships, the emotional bonding that happens, the social skills that are developed. In fact, UNESCO itself says that do whatever it takes, but help children stay connected with school. Whatever it takes, keep them connected with school, because that is their source. I'm sure Aruna ma'am is nodding her head. She would definitely agree as a teacher herself. That is their primary source. That is their primary source of input for building them socially and ensuring that the development that they have to do. So what will happen if I miss school? What is there? They will learn this alphabet. They will learn these numbers. They'll learn mathematics next year. They will do some extra tuitions. No. That is fine. You can do something of that. But emotionally, you cannot bring back that time. That gap that the child has to grow emotionally, that is gone once and for all if you don't take care of it now. So loss of school is not loss of learning, it's loss of growing. It's basically loss of growing. Child is missing so much and you have no clue how much a child is missing. And how do we bring the school back? There are many ways in which we can bring school back, but one way in which we think bringing school back is live classes. Now, there's a lot of debate around live classes and all, but I'm going to present one view. We may agree, we may disagree on that, but there's one view based on our current work as an organization in Class Club. We are working on turning the entire crisis into an opportunity for students through live classes. So I'll share one view of it based on this. So essentially, it's the crux of this is that school and child have to be connected if we want growth to continue happening for our children. Can we go to the next slide, Shashwat?
Yeah.
Thank you. So I just wrote down some notes of what Aruna ma'am was speaking about, and she spoke about social reconnection, and then Madhumita ma'am also mentioned that, and then she spoke about emotional connection. She spoke about the teacher being the center of the child's life, and then Madhumita ma'am was also speaking, and then she spoke about connectivity with teacher. Now, we spoke about bringing school to the child. There are three things that happen when we do live classes. Point number one, it connects emotionally. I shared an example earlier. The moment the teacher comes onto the webcam, you should see the children smiling. And say, good morning, ma'am. How are you? Okay, children. And it's so familiar for them. They're now back into their comfort zone. It's so familiar to them. Okay, children, how are you? I see you. Okay, somebody's eating, somebody's sitting, okay, parents. This conversation, familiar voice, and then so much of comfort and warmth for the child. There's a peer group again. The child is also looking at who are all the other children in that meeting. Who are all there? What are they doing? And then he's connecting with them. And this emotional connect is what will sustain him after the class gets over for the day. It is his food for his heart. It is his food. It bonds him. Then he'll go back and play, does things in the house. It vents. It gives him room. And then what all happen in a class? Whatever happens in a physical class, similar things happen. Medium has changed. When the physical class comes back, children will go back to them, but probably the physical distance will still be there. But then now you're connecting emotionally. There's peer group there. There's social emotional connect there. Children are sharing ideas. The screens that you see on the presentation are actual screens. The rainbow on the right side is where children are all coming onto the whiteboard at the same time and creating a rainbow. There's a worksheet there where children are marking. Those markings are not by teacher. There's a multi-user facility in this live class where children, all of them, I'm sure teachers will agree that children love taking a chalk piece, coming to the board and writing something on it. Now we're giving them a chalk. Color chalk you're giving them. They're all coming there, writing. There's an LKG class there, there's a grade 1 class there, and grade 3 class there. So, and then more importantly, the teacher is calling the child by name. She knows the children there. She's saying Vinay, she's saying Kayana, she's saying Aruna, she's saying Madhumita. She's calling them by their names. And that actually makes it very nice for the child. The teacher is calling, addressing them by the name. That emotional connect is something that only school can give children, and which is of great value at this point of time when they're all in a lockdown. But emotional connect by itself is not enough. We need something else. Ma'am was speaking earlier, the cognitive connect. Cognitive connect is where you're learning. You're also learning. You just can't have emotions in empty space. It's not like watching a comedy show. It's not like having a video call, WhatsApp video call. There's a context to it. And the context is learning. You can see in the screens here, the teacher is doing her lesson plan there. She's doing a lesson plan on my body. There's a teacher doing on fractions. There's another teacher using emojis there to share. Quizzes happen and children answer quizzes. Teacher knows who's right, who's wrong. Children make presentations, projects. I've seen online classes where parents come together. Yellow day, color day, food day. Oh God, it's like, it's so warm. Children are learning concepts, as ma'am was saying, together. I think for the first time ever, parents are now a part and parcel of every class. In fact, they know what is happening and they actually enjoy participating in it. I know of schools where they do assemblies online. I know of schools where they do Zumba, yoga, sports online. Now, where will the child miss the school now? Physical school till it opens. This is the closest possible substitute to it. It simulates it. It helps the child express, explore, experiment. But cognitive is just not enough. We also need a personal connect. Can you go to the next slide? Shashwat, please. Thank you. One, we saw a social one, a lot of emotion one. The heart was speaking. Second one was the head is speaking. Head is getting its one. But the third thing is personal connect. It's a very transparent class. Most of the time, as a parent myself, I have no clue what happens in my physical class. Only my teacher will know. My child's teacher will know. The school principal will know. When I go to PTMs, I will know. But now every day is a PTM of sort. Every day I'm getting to see what my child is doing. Every day I'm getting to see how other children are reacting. Every day I'm getting to see where my child's level is. In addition to that, the teacher herself is now connecting to the child at a very personal level. Imagine teacher is doing a poll or a quiz. 40 children have given answers. Teacher knows what is the answer Madhumita gave. Teacher knows what is the answer Kaina gave or what is the answer Aruna gave. And then she'll unmute Aruna and say, Aruna, you gave this answer. You said it's a line or line segment. Why did you give? Now imagine the power of it. It's getting so personal. Maybe some of these things may not happen in a physical class also. In a physical class, what is it? Children, did you understand? Yes, teacher. Now, Aruna, did you understand? You wrote this. And children give responses in the public chat. Children share emotions. Children connect. Teacher connects. It's an entire different world that brings children back to school. The one that they're familiar with, the place where they learn social, emotional skills, which are very important for their mental health. I may not learn mathematics this year, fine, I'll pick it up next. But if I don't learn what I have to learn in this age, in this time, and especially for children, 1 month in a child's life is more than about a year in an adult's life. 6 months, they'd have to change the size of the dress. They keep growing so fast, especially primary children. I think it's very important that emotional, social, cognitive, personal connect that a school can bring, and only a school can bring, because it produces the opportunities, those interactions, which lay the foundation for this child's behavior when he grows up, for the child's emotion when he actually plays his life. It's like a net practice. It's a safety net for him, where he's trying out different emotions. And then understanding that this is right, this is wrong. He's creating his value system. And that's what is very important. And that is what children are missing. And that is serious. That is very serious. I may miss my maths class or my English class. I can make up with it. But this What I miss in the 100 days is something that I can't. But then you'll ask, I'm sure parents will ask, but Vinay, I'm using a lot of apps. You can go to the next slide. I'm using a lot of apps. My children are connecting with it. I'm going online classes. Agreed. It's like watching a replay of a match. Watching a match live versus watching a replay of a match. You know this is a replay. You know this is not real. You know this is just, it's not just on the go. So apps are good, but they're not a substitute. And definitely not a substitute for a teacher. There's nothing in the world that can replace what a teacher can bring to the class. Something only teachers can do. Because what is in an app there? There's no collaboration, there's no communication that is happening, there's no human interaction. He knows he's just playing a game. There's no growth, there's no learning that is happening. It's just a piece of software. There's no human connection. But then you'll say, okay, but this is all fine, Vinay, but I'm worried about screen time. What about screen time? There's so much of screen time is being spent. I think we should do some little understanding. Can you go to the next slide, please? Some little understanding of how much screen time our children are spending in the lockdown now. You will notice that when we talk about screen time, it's even TV also is a screen time. It has almost shot up by 100%. 100%. Earlier, if children were watching 2 hours of TV, now they're watching for 4 hours of TV. On an average, 4 hours of time is being spent by children in lockdown watching TV. And what are they doing on TV? General entertainment, movies. This has gone up by 20, 28%, 30%. What are we talking about? Is it productive? Is it useful? Does it build his social skills? Does it give him emotional connect? Does it talk about any cognitive growth for him? Does it help him understand mathematics better? Or maybe understand relationships better? It doesn't. You can look at the next picture. It shows that there has been a 44% growth for children watching TV from the year 2 years to 14 years. Can you believe it? 46% growth for children between 2 years. That's hardly even, they're not even nursery, I suppose. From 2 to 12 years, look at the longest slide, the bar there, the second one there. So much of, as Aruna ma'am was saying, so much of news is being watched, so much, 219% hike in news watch, scaring, panic. What are we doing? Isn't that screen time? Can't we cut it down? Can't we use it more productively, which will benefit the child? Can we go to the next slide? This is what pediatricians are saying. This is what doctors are saying about screen time. They agree that there is some understanding of screen time, but screen time can be divided into 2 parts. One, screen time which is going to build us, help us, some limited amount of time. We can discuss a debate on that. But more importantly, cutting down on excess recreational screen time. There's so much of recreational screen time. The problem is with the excess there, I'm putting on weight at one place when I should actually put on weight at another place. And screen time is much like bag weight. Remember CBSE norms were there about bag weight, how much bag weight the children can carry. Screen time is also like that. Schools understand that. Schools respect that. But as parents, I think it is very important to understand that if we don't bring the school and the child together in any way possible, then children miss out on it. Can you go to the next slide, Shashwat? And then that is where we are to discuss and differentiate between time which is spent on education versus time which is spent on recreation. Where is my child spending time? Recreation or education? Recreation is fine. Some amount of recreation is fine, but it is passive. Remember, it is not active. It is passive. It is what it does to you. There is nothing you do back to it. It doesn't grow you. It just keeps you there. But now it is for us to make a choice. For us, what we'll do? Do we help our children grow emotionally, connect socially, and then cognitively? Do we get them to interact with their peers and then build that growth, those behavior patterns that are very age specific, which they learn at a particular age? There's a yardstick there and he misses it. There's a milestone there. He misses it. He misses it for life. It can't be something that I missed my lunch and I'm going to make it up for dinner. It can't be that way. So it's a choice we have to make. The next slide, please. What are we going to do for our children? What is beneficial for our children? I think this is a question we have to ask. Just as wearing a mask is important, just as washing hands is important, just as maintaining physical distance is important, so is the emotional, social, mental health of a child important. And where does it get it from? From that school. Are we going to do it for movies? Are we going to do it for cartoons, serials? Are we going to do it for live classes? The teacher will be there. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, children. And the entire warmth of it. Are you ready for it? That's the question that you have to ask. Next slide, please. Are we all ready as parents? I always think like this, just to conclude. My daughter is in 3rd class and she's around, let's say, 8 years of age. But what is impacting her is not now. What is happening now is going to impact her 15 years later. In 2035, when my daughter is going for a job, the vacuum that this pandemic has created in terms of social disconnect is going to hit her there. Do I want that for my daughter? Or do I am going to turn it around, look at an opportunity and make a choice? Are you ready for that choice? I am, for my daughter. Thank you so much, Madhumita ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Vinay. It was really, really very informative. It was very informative. Now you have just set the, you have set a ground for a debate. We have our politicians on one side. We have our parents on one side. We have teachers on one side. I, being a teacher for past 23, 24 years, I know that when regular classes are on, we really crave for a vacation. But now in this prolonged vacation, it is a classroom that is calling me. I miss my children. I miss the class. I miss the board. I miss the duster. I miss the, like sometimes, okay, like kind of doling out unnecessary knowledge to the children, catching them doing something and then getting opportunity to share. They have to make a choice. And school and the teachers, we are more than willing to do the online classes, and we understand, because parents, what they fail to understand is that that teacher is employed by the school. It is not that. A teacher is also equally guardian of the child, because the connect that we develop during the school hours, or that 6 hours, 7 hours when the child is with us, we know a lot about the child equally as the parent, and we all just love the child to grow, to develop. So somewhere that miscommunication might be happening due to whatever reason, but we are hoping and expecting that gray areas will be, slowly vanishing. So parents will make a wise choice. We are all ready with whatever the parents and whatever is good for the children. It is more than the parent. We are ready to walk extra mile for whatever is good for children. Every school will be doing that. So with this, I have a few questions for Madam Aruna. Should I ask? Yeah. So Madam Aruna, I got a question in the meantime, which says that how can I identify if my child is a slow learner?
Yes, ma'am. There are many divisions in our schools. Actually, slow learning is a very challenging task now. Many kids face difficulties in slow learning. This we can have very early interventions. In class 1 and 2 itself, the teachers should be trained to identify the child in the early classes itself. In 1 and 2 itself, we get the symptoms in the child, whether he is a slow learner or whether he is an LD. We have classifications of academics has LD, learning difficulty, learning disability, and slow learning. So slow learners are people who are below average kids. They might be having difficulties in all the areas, like making social connections and like processing, like thinking, answering, reasoning. In all these things, the kids feel very difficult. They take a bit of time in understanding. Their concept of making them understand, it's quite very tough task for the teachers, because understanding slow learning itself is a difficult. Whether my child is doing it purposely or he is really having a slow learning symptoms. There, as a teacher, you have to just be connected to the child first. So see to the child, really the child has a skill of understanding or not, by making his concepts in a small way. Instead of giving him a larger things, make all the concepts in a small way, giving him in a fill in the blanks, asking him to answer orally, whether the child is orally good or in writing good. So there are very different aspects. If the child is orally good, he might be weak in writing. So identifying is very difficult task. In a school, we'll have a school counselors, or even the teachers will be trained on this concept to find the slow learner. Slowly, the teacher and the parent both interact in helping the child coming out of this slow learning kids. In a school, we have to make inclusive studies for the kids, and the teacher should give personal time for the child, connecting to him first emotionally, because he will have a low self-esteem first. As a parent also in the home, he'll be struggling a lot. He'll be struggling with his pair also, as he's a slow learner. He wants to create his identity in any way. Might be due to this, he will have disturbances in with his pairs, with his teacher, and everywhere he will be disconnected. So the first thing for the child is to get connected to him first emotionally, and then find out in which area the child is back, whether in writing, whether in speaking, or whether in
Okay,
music.
now this one more question has come, but I just like to share one thought which came. That
Yes,
is, when you are talking about taking care of the child personally, I think this online classes are really good, where
Yes.
the child's personal space will be maintained. At the same time, the teacher can do something for the child's development, because sometimes children don't ask doubt because of peer pressure in the classroom. If the teacher asks, you have understood, everybody will say, yes, miss, we have understood. But some of them might not have. But when in online classes, they actually can, the teacher can actually personally attend to that. So that is one advantage of the online thing, is what I'm able to understand.
I just experienced with the kids sharing that only, ma'am. When I was regular classes, I could not ask my teacher the question.
Good.
Now I feel very
One more question has come, that if the child is not participating, it's come from a true, that happens. Okay, so like, how if the child is not very interested to participate in, sometimes children don't have the mood, they are not willing today, they are just not willing, I mean, they don't have any reason. So in times like that, can the teacher, can the parent help? It is a parent's question. She has asked that, how can I help my child to be always energetic and motivated?
Yes, it depends both on the teacher and the parent, ma'am. Actually, every child's intention is that let anybody see me, let anybody observe me. That is the only intention of any behavioral problems or anything. The thing is that on which of the aspect my parent or my teacher addressing me, on which aspect am I being identified. If you give a child to read any news or something, if you motivate by keeping claps, if you make a child stand and say, really, you did it very nice, might be he does mistakes. First, the word is, you did it very good. Really, it motivates the child to get involved. Slowly, he comes with another activity. His low self-esteem goes on down. Nowadays, parents' concern is that as soon as my child participates in anything, he has to come with a certificate. So this has made the children not at all to compete with anything. Please, parents and teachers, motivate the child on his progress, not with his success. See the progress. Yesterday you competed in one competition. Wow, really good. Now you compete in another thing also. Participation itself is a success. Make your child clear that participation is the first step of his success, not the winning. So teachers, when they have really connected to kids, they can.
True. That is really very nice. As teachers, we always feel that every child, I have a class of 30 children, and every parent wants their child to be first in the same drawing competition. But everybody is not an artist. Maybe his or her child is a musician, or maybe his or her child is a social scientist, or somebody from the literature. That is where some, as our perception gets clouded. One more, this is for Mr. Vinay. Mr. Vinay, you're there, isn't it? Yeah. So like, do you think live classes will be needed after the school reopens?
So I think, what essentially is coming up across the globe is that Corona is changing the world, as you rightly said, without any Corona.
Yes.
And it's like, remember like an elastic one. You stretch this, okay, elastic has a particular normal, when it is normal, but not stretched. Now you stretch it, and then you release it, it comes back to normal. But Karuna is not doing like that. Karuna is actually stretching it to a point where you release it, it's not going to come to the normal. It's going to come to a new normal. And as Kaina ma'am spoke about it, this is going to go for a long time. Till we actually discover a vaccine or something is going to happen. But however, having said that, what is important is that live classes have a role to play. And then people are talking about a blended class. So there'll be 80% of a physical class that happening, and then children will get into a live class after that. China, for example, with all this Wuhan virus and everything, still leads in terms of live classes they do, because the entire schools are run by state government. In the evening, they go into live classes, children, and they beam teachers from America, from Australia to teach them English. Imagine the possibility of blending classes, that live classes.
True. Because now what I feel is that in this live class where teachers, where the children is interacting, you know, that personal space is maintained is something that is very nice, which will help a long way. And, you know, every school they have all that. So in those cases, this live classrooms particularly will the teacher can do from the comfort of her home. And it can have flexible timing. So the child will not be cut off from the games or the sports or whatever normally we have to do. So that will be saved is what I feel if this online classes are there to stay. One more has government is insisting on recorded classes and things like that, because our connectivity in the rural areas and this internet connectivity and the signals are a big issue. So I think government is trying to deroute through a recorded classroom concept. So what do you think, that live classroom and the recorded classroom, what are the options? I mean, what are the weightage? You have said actually, but so, this question has come up.
Essentially the point remains that what is a substitute for a physical class? It's not live class is not an end by itself. Live class is a purpose. Live class is only a tool. It's a tool. That tool has a purpose. Like this Zoom is a tool, but Zoom is not the end itself. Zoom's purpose is to communicate, to connect, to collaborate, to share. That's the purpose. Likewise, live class is a tool and has a purpose, and the purpose is to connect with a teacher live. And as ma'am shared earlier, you know, that social connect that has to be there, that emotional connect. Now, if that substitute is not there, then what is the next possible substitute? A recorded class with the teacher herself, not somebody, his own teacher or her own teacher. Then sees the teacher's image there. Teacher is saying, good morning, children. He can't respond back. Probably intuitively or instinctively he may say, good morning, ma'am. But he knows ma'am is not listening to him because it's a recorded version. Agree. But that's the next substitute. So what are we should understand, why are we doing it? What is the purpose of it? Once we understand the purpose, I think recorded classes also are a good source of connect. As long as they are the same teacher doing it and schools doing this.
I think today the connection is not very strong enough to make us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to add on that, all these years, whenever we used to do, training sessions to all our teachers in different schools, like the usual debate would be like, technology versus, traditional way of teaching and all that. Like we always used to have two different, views, groups among the teachers. I think now it's time like where everyone is coming to an agreement, thinking that, okay, technology also is as important as the teachers, and at the same time teachers can not be replaced, but we all have come to terms like where we have become wise to use technology in the right way, and the purpose of using the technology in educating the child, which is the ultimate goal for any teacher. It's just a medium, like how Mr. Vinay told.
It's the tool. Technology is a tool which can facilitate the child to learn better, is what you're implying. Yeah, that's really good.
Coming years after this Corona has ended, I think from coming years, this discussion of topic about technology over traditional teaching I think it will stop. So that
technology and tradition will shake hands now. Yes. They'll live happily together.
Yes, exactly.
Together. True. So it was a very nice session and very interactive session today. Yes. So I thank all my panelists because their presence made us, this discussion very, very interesting.
Yes.
And so we will look forward for this few more sessions like this. And we would just love to have our speakers, because they were very good. They shared all their experience and backed up with statistics and stuff like that. So, okay. Thank you, everyone. So till the next time.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Madam.
All the parents.
Thank you, Kian, also. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.